Welcome back. This is the second session on threats. Now, in this, I'm going to tell you about threat communication, how two threats communicate with each other. Before that, I'm also going to talk about synchronization on threats. Say, in the number class which we created in the previous session, here, say I'm calculating the sum of some numbers, and say these numbers are stored in an array. So I'm going to call this as num. There are some numbers which I want to add and calculate the sum and store it in sum. So I'm going to do that to say here num dot length, and I'm going to say sum plus or equal to I. I'm going to give a delay so that so here I'm calculating the sum. Say I have one more method that prints the sum. So here I'm going to say system.out.print sum equal sum. All right. Now here we have two methods. One is calculating the sum of the numbers. The other one is printing the sum. Now say for example, if one thread is calling calculate sum, I don't want this method to be called by any other thread at the same time. Rather, the first thread should acquire the lock on the object of number, and it does not allow other threads to call this method till the first thread releases the lock. If I want to do that, in that case, I have to mark this as synchronized. Let us check how this works. First, let us check how this works without synchronized. Then we'll check this with synchronized. All right. Okay. So let us get back to the client. This I have already created. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say number dot calculate sum. I'm going to call calculate sum. Now inside calculate sum, I'm going to print the number I'm going to read. So what I'm saying is the number that is read is num of I, and here also I'm going to say it is number of I, right? Now I'm going to run this and see what happens. Okay, so the numbers are being read one after another. Suppose I call this with another thread, or say I define one more, and here I'm going to call this as thread 2, thread 2 dot start. So I'm calling this method again with another thread. Just check what happens. The numbers are being read twice. The same number 4 is being read by thread 1, by thread 2. So what is happening is it's overlapping. Two threads are accessing or executing the statements one by one parallelly. That is the concept of threading. But sometimes I want to safeguard the shared resource. For example, here sum is the shared resource and num, the array, is also a shared resource among the two threads. Now, I don't want this concurrency to happen here, and I want to bring about some kind of synchronization. So, how do I do that? I make this as synchronized. Now, I go back, I execute. Now, you see the thread 1 is accessing the first set of numbers, after which the second thread is reading the numbers here, right? So, this is the concept of synchronization. When we use synchronization, when we want some thread safety to the method, which means the first thread, when it is calling a synchronized method, acquires the lock on the object with which it is calling the method. That is the object of number here, and it releases the lock when it comes out of the method, only after which another thread can call this method. So this is the concept of synchronization. Let us understand about thread communication in our next video. Thank you.